Bushnell, performance is the only thing. Federal Premium Ammunition, surgical precision, terminal results. Savage Arms, better come standard. Gold Tip, start tough, stay true. And these other fine sponsors.
Hi folks, Dean Trumbley here, and this week I'm heading to Lethbridge College to attend the 2-day student mentor hunt that is conducted by the Environmental Sciences Department. This unique program provides a fully immersive hunting opportunity for students to better understand the relationship between hunting and the biological sciences field of study. So let's head to the classroom to kick off day 1 of this amazing program offered by Lethbridge College.
So our purpose with the identification component to this mentored hunt is to make sure that the students know exactly what species they are legally allowed to harvest in the morning. Okay, so you're allowed to shoot 8. Is that 8 of any species, however? No. Can you shoot 8 mallets? Yes, you can. Okay, we'll get into some other species here shortly. A lot of these students are kind of new to waterfowl ID, just generally bird identification, so we can't make them an expert in the half hour that we actually spend with them, but we can definitely make them think about silhouettes, color, shape, wing beats, flight pattern, these kinds of things. These birds are in the air, they have different wing beats, right? Some bird species have very rapid wing beat, right? If you look at some of our smaller duck species, right? So again, today I'm not going to be able to teach about all the different dabblers and diver species, what to look for when you have them in hand, but you have a book right there and you have experienced mentors with you. But we also do stress to make sure that they rely on their mentors to make sure that they are pointing their gun at something that is legally harvestable.
Safe gun handling is the top priority for Lethbridge College's student mentor program, so a very large section was concentrated on the handling of guns and making sure that everybody is safe.
Basic safety for shooting a shotgun. Some basic steps that you want to follow is to always control your muzzle direction. As long as you always control your muzzle direction, you can always be safe with a shotgun. Also, major safety feature is the safety on a shotgun. So always it's on the trigger guard. You will have your safety on whenever you are not shooting your shotgun. Also, you should never have your finger inside the trigger guard while you are shooting. Whenever you're walking around with your shotgun or carrying your shotgun, you should always have your action open. So the action on a shotgun is anything that unloads or loads the firearm. On a pump action, you're always going to have it pumped down. Basically, you always want to make sure that you're in the safest possible situation for when you go out hunting.
A representative from Delta Waterfowl gave a fantastic talk on hunter ethics. Of course, I had to use this opportunity to share some of my experience as well.
There's 2 things that I find really disturbing as a waterfowl hunter when you're hunting with your co-hunters, and one is called zone shooting. So if you're in layout lines, you've got 5 layout lines in a row, each person has a defined zone to shoot in, okay? You don't cross over into other zones because you start to become a hog, but most importantly, it's safety. You know, if you got a guy that's on the far right flank and he's shooting at single or double birds coming in on the far left flank, you are literally shooting across people's zones and taking those opportunities away from them, and it's also a safety issue. And then the other one is what we like to call the quick jumpers. You have a pit boss, usually like I said, a designated person. You do not rise up and shoot until you hear the pit boss yell, because we actually just came from a hunt where we had a guy that he would jump literally 3-4 seconds before everybody else, and by the time everybody else gets up, the birds are flaring gone out of range and you're not getting opportunities. So one of the really important things is whether you're waterfowl hunting, understand your zone that you're shooting in, and usually it's kind of, if you're on the far flank, you get a bigger zone, but if you're in front, that's your zone. No shooting over top, no shooting over this way, no shooting over that way. If the birds aren't in your zone, they're be more birds coming. Just, take a deep breath. Let the guys in those zones take the birds. It's safe. You're going to get the best shoot that way. You're going to get the most birds than guys blowing over top feet. Now, because if you've ever been muzzle blasted, it is not fun. It hurts. It really does hurt. And I can tell you, I've got hearing loss because of it. So just make sure that you understand your zones and make sure you're listening to your pit boss.
The classroom component of the student mentor hunt is now a wrap. It's time for everybody to gather their gear and head out to the range to learn some of the field components of waterfowl hunting. This includes the use of equipment, calling, and of course, shooting the guns.
Stay tuned for more hunting action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect after this commercial break.
Let's just say you're in too big a hurry and what if?
How about?
Yes, that's covered. No matter how it gets broken, shattered, cracked, or crushed. But yes, that's covered, no questions asked. Lifetime warranty from Bushnell has your back. We'll repair or replace your product and ship it back at no cost to you. It's the strongest warranty in the business for when you need it most. Only from Bushnell.
When it comes to duck and goose loads, there are options, but nothing as effective as Black Cloud, featuring the exclusive flight control wad, designed to separate from the shot at the perfect time. 40% cutting-edge flight stopper steel, 60% premium steel. More efficient patterns than steel loads from other leading brands. Our competitors hope you buy their ammo. So do the ducks. Black Cloud FS Steel. Drop ducks like rain.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Hunting Consultants Plus. More than just a booking agency. Now, let's return to the action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Yeah, the whole objective of what we were doing is just giving the students a sense of the different types of gear that we use out in the field, different decoy types, different sets, and different kind of tactics that we want to pay attention to, whether we're hunting on water or on field sites. This is just kind of a general quick overview of the different pieces of equipment and different ways that we could go out and have some fun hunting waterfowl.
With the calling, I was just explaining some basic notes, and then as well as what to do and how to react with the geese coming in and the ducks coming in as well. And yeah, it's super hard to actually learn how to call, and some guys pick it up super quick, and it took me a while, but I've got onto it now. And yeah, I'm only 21, so I still got a ways to go, but I feel like I'm decent at it. I'm just trying to help these guys learn calling themselves.
All right, so we're here at the Lethbridge College mentored hunt, and this is our range component. So you're going to hear a few shots in the background. But what we've done is we've divided up, people have actually maybe not done waterfowl hunting, but they've used maybe some shotgun skills or something like that. So we've divided them up into advanced, intermediate, and beginner skills. So we've got 3 groups that we're actually working with so they can get more competent with their shotgun skills. So when we do the mentored hunt tomorrow, the chances of them actually getting a bird are going to be better.
With the classroom and range component completed, these students were ready to head back to the school to their dorms to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow is waterfowl hunting.
The Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is proud to present Turkey Talk.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I joined the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation because I love spending time with my dad in the outdoors. The CWTF has a lot of opportunities for kids to learn more about safe hunting in the outdoors. Watch for Kids Like Us events in your area.
Okay, well, so we've arrived out by the marsh that we're going to be hunting. We can just start seeing the sun come up. The mentors and the students are out in behind me. You can't see it right now because it's still dark. They're kind of getting the decoy spread situated. Our job on this one is kind of nice. I don't have to hunt. I actually get to film them hunting. So what I'm going to be doing is situating myself a little off the point to hopefully capture some of these students getting their very first waterfowl. But I'm pretty excited about this. It kind of reminds me of my first waterfowl hunt.
with my grandpa and my dad. So we better get moving before the light comes up. We had an absolutely beautiful sunrise with a mild breeze. However, as we started to wrap up the decoy setup, the wind steadily rose. By the time the first duck came in, they were flying at Mach 1. Ducks are fast enough on their own, but to throw wind into the mix was going to prove to be very challenging for these first-time hunters.
Here. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, that one's full of grain.
Take him, Alex. There you go. Take him, take him. The students weren't deterred, and they kept on shooting.
Get ready, get ready. Take him.
Hit him again, hit him again. No. Just stand up. No, he's too far. Big shot at it. Big shot at it. Carrie and I took a moment to speak, and we realized that if this wind didn't die down, we'd have to call the hunt.
Bushnell's Trigger Effect will return shortly after this commercial break.
For unmatched vein clearance. For drag that doesn't sacrifice speed. For group size reductions of up to 75%. Gold Tip introduces Valkyrie with Factory 4 Fletch. Its accuracy to the 4th power. Valkyrie with Factory 4 Fletch, only from Gold Tip.
Brad, what's the plan?
We're gonna butter them up.
Huh?
Meat donkey butter, ultra strength, attractive taste. You just grab a tube and you smear it on trees, rocks, anywhere where you want to attract deer. Look, it stays through sleet, rain, and snow. Took all my donkey butter.
We got all biscuits too.
Donkey butter from Primo. Butter them up, whack them down.
This segment is brought to you by Westside Stores, your outdoor sports authority. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
The morning continued to blow with a steady 40 to 50 km/h wind, with gusts of up to 60-70 km an hour. The students we were hunting with showed amazing patience in such bad conditions. However, finally we all decided it was time to pack it in. What amazed me is even though our group struck out, you still couldn't wipe the smiles off of their faces. Well, that's a wrap for our morning hunt, and I have to admit it was probably some of the worst conditions you could possibly have for beginning hunters. We had incredibly high winds. The birds were coming in high, trying to drop into the back bays. This morning it was kind of nice and calm. As a matter of fact, when we were setting up, the birds were buzzing right over, so I thought it was going to be a great shoot, and then the winds really went high. So we didn't do so good in our group. You know, the shots that of the birds that did come in was really tough for the students to get a beat on them. However, we had two other groups that were in the back bays. They just came in and we found out that they limited out, so that's awesome for them. And the other group in between also got a few birds as well. Really, I'm looking back over at the group of kids here, and they're all laughing and they're having a great time. They're making friends for a lifetime, and really that's what it is. It's not how many birds they got, it's the experience they had. And I know the two we were hunting with, they got some shooting in. They weren't deterred at all in the fact that they didn't get any ducks. As a matter of fact, we were all laughing because Carrie, one of the instructor's dogs, kept running over and stealing ducks from the other blind and bringing them to ours. So technically we did get some ducks, maybe just not from the federal we were shooting. But other than that, now we have an appliance and enforcement portion of Lethbridge College's program. They're actually over there doing enforcement checks, so it's kind of neat how they use the mentor hunt to also help the enforcement students learn a little bit about, compliance and issues in the field of making sure that the plugs are in the gun and that they have the right licenses, they're shooting the right species of ducks and so on. We're going to pack all up. We're going to head back in now. There's a big banquet tonight. There's going to be a group photo when the rest of the other 23 students all come together to see how many birds there are. But it was a fantastic morning. There's lots of laughs, lots of fun. And for me, that's all I really care about is seeing that we got another generation of hunters coming up to hunt in the Great Canadian wetlands for waterfowl. Well, Kerry, first of all, I'd really like to thank you for having Bushnell's Trigger Effect come to participate in this amazing event. But I was going to ask you, how long has the mentor hunt been around?
Well, we started about 2007, so this is 2008, I guess. It was our 10th year. It was originally initiated by Delta Waterfowl, and then now is funded primarily with the help of a number of different sponsors by Ducks Unlimited Canada.
And where did the idea come from to, integrate, for instance, hunting with like an environmental sciences program at an educational institute?
Well, it was a former dean of ours that, I had done a presentation about how hunting had been dropping off and the numbers are really low. And when we found that our demographic of student that was coming here, there was quite a few of them that didn't have that hunting background. It wasn't like the day that you're so many generations removed from the farm now, so you don't really have that background. So, I posted to her, hey, a lot of our students don't have that skill set, and if they're going in to be conservation officers, fish and wildlife officers, very important skill set to have to sort of know how does a hunter think.
Right.
And she was all for it, and she said, let's take a day at the end of field trip and do the mentor hunt.
And so how many students typically participate in a year then?
We usually range from about 20 to 24 students a year.
Wow.
We cap it off at 24. This year we've got 23.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, I'd really like to commend Lethbridge, first of all, because myself, I got into the biological sciences because of hunting.
Yeah.
And so to see that you guys are embracing this, it really is special, and thank you very, very much, Kerry.
Thanks for having us.
So Jeff, you're one of the mentors here.
Yeah.
So how long have you been mentoring for this program?
This is actually my first year mentoring the hunt. I did the mentored hunt my first year in the college, and then this is my first year actually taking kids out.
So you moved up a step.
Yeah, I'm moving up the world.
So why is it important for you to mentor?
I think it's just important to get other people out there, kind of encourage the sport and kind of grow it a little bit. A lot of people they don't go out because they don't have a chance, so it's nice giving someone a chance to really come out. And I was talking to a bunch of kids today, and they're saying they'd love to go out again, so it's kind of cool to always make people appreciate what you do.
So how'd your group do then this morning?
Honestly, we didn't do the best, I'm not gonna lie. We shot just a couple geese, but there was a lot, but yeah, I guess they just didn't like what I was doing, and they were flaring out pretty bad at the end there. But
it was pretty tough conditions today. I know where we were, our group didn't have much success either, but I'd really like to commend you for dedicating your time to helping people get into the field. I know at Bushnell's Trigger Effect that's really important to us to get new hunters in, and this program is fantastic, so thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you.
More Bushnell's Trigger Effect after these important messages.
The two-stage target trigger comes standard. So does the side-charging handle. And the adjustable gas block definitely comes standard. But more importantly, the feeling of holding unrivaled accuracy with your own two hands, that comes standard too. Introducing the new line of MSR. Savage. Better comes standard.
My camo doesn't need the match, and I don't care about a deer's net score.
I won't be at your game Friday night.
I will keep looking at trail camera photos until this meeting is over.
For those who live to hunt and refuse to compromise, the new Trophy and Trophy Extreme binoculars, featuring the clarity of optics costing hundreds more and the industry's finest no questions asked lifetime warranty.
They're the optics your rich uncle would own if he wasn't such a pretentious fanboy.
This segment is brought to you by King's Camo. See the difference. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
So Dave,
yes.
So after the hunt,
yes.
What are you showing the students?
Well, we're just showing them that the time they invest in scouting and actually doing the hunting and trying to get the meat, right? So cleaning the birds, we look at breasting and taking the thighs and legs. Some of them have never cleaned a bird before, so just walk them through the steps. Emphasize safety, emphasize the need to take as much meat as you can.
And I noticed afterwards there, I heard something about jerky.
Yes.
So what were you showing them?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of our birds in salami and jerky, and just a couple different ways of doing it. Do the slabs where you're just basically cutting the breast at the same height as you possibly can, or running them through a grinder. It's a really good way to do the meat. You can make the brine anything you want. You can get commercial brines, or you can try and make your own. But it's a really good way to do it. It keeps well, freezes well, and everybody loves a piece of jerky, let's face it.
Yeah, well, you had my interest once I heard jerky. But
well, I wish I had some left over from last year, but I don't.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Dave, for your time.
Thank you.
Well, as you can see in behind me here, the banquet is still going on. And I just want to reiterate to people that, part of the reason the Bushnell's Trigger Effect decided to, film the mentor hunt with Lethbridge College is both Kent and I, we started our careers at an institute like Lethbridge College. And what a lot of people don't understand is that hunting, conservation management, and the biology field go hand in hand. They always have. I mean, you go back to some of the great conservationists of time. I mean, they were biologists, and I know for me, why did I become a biologist? Because I was a hunter. Why did I come full circle from a biologist back to a hunter? Is because I wanted to share my passion for biology and hunting, because they do go so much hand in hand. And Lethbridge College has really encapsulated that with their student mentor program. I mean, these kids, as you can hear them behind me, I mean, they're laughing. And you know what? They're going to make lifetime partnerships here as hunters and hunting buddies. And that's really what it's all about. It's about exposing, people to the sport of hunting. And also at the same time, this is going to be our future behind us as biologists and conservation officers. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this. This was a fantastic experience for me, and I'm signing off, and we'll see you next week for another exciting episode of Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
The student mentor experience for me was learning how to hunt, because I've never gone hunting before, and so it helped me to learn kind of the tips and tricks on how to start out when I've never done things like that before, and to kind of shoot my first duck. It was a great experience, and I will do it again.
A mentor-student hunt experience for me was really about getting out with a bunch of good friends and going and shooting some ducks and learning the ropes about duck hunting in general. Had a great time and definitely will do it again.
It really helped me spread the light on different techniques of duck hunting, and I got to really enjoy being outside with all my classmates, and I'll definitely be doing it again next year.
Being part of the mentored hunt this year was a really cool experience. It was my first ever time hunting and my first ever time killing a goose. Apparently I got 3, so that was pretty awesome. I had great mentors. They were very patient, very enthusiastic. I would recommend this experience to anybody, and I think I may become a hunter.
So the Ducks Unlimited mentored hunt was a really good experience for me. I've been exposed to waterfowl hunting my whole life, and it was really exciting to get to go out through Ducks Unlimited and with my peers and have a really great time and an awesome first hunt.
Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is a proud conservation partner of Bushnell's Trigger Effect. Taxidermy services for Bushnell's Trigger Effect. This has been a Thunder Boys production.